G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we will learn how to make this easy mesh hat. This hat will be great for summer if you use a cotton yarn. I'm using acrylic in the video, but of course you can use whatever yarn you like. We use the double crochet and the chain stitch for the hat and a single crochet for the brim. You could also use a half double crochet for the brim. So let's get started on the lesson. You will need about 3.5 ounces or 100 grams of yarn. That will be plenty to make an adult size hat. You will also need a hook that is recommended for your yarn, a sewing needle and a pair of scissors. You could also use 8-ply yarn. You will need probably an extra row of increase with the 8-ply or the double knit yarn. It's also equivalent to sports weight. But I have really loose tension, so when I use the eye hook or the 5.5, it actually comes out really loose. So for me to use the 4.5mm, which I think is about a G, that's fine for me to do that, because it won't be super tight because my tension's so loose. So for this hat we can do a chain 4, or we can use the magic ring. So if you're going to do the chain 4, you would slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring, and you'll work into the center. But if you want to use a magic ring, the easiest way that I have found to do the magic ring is wrap it around twice, well, using 2 fingers. Wrap it around like so. I just grab both pieces of yarn and work into the center. Pull up a loop, just do a 1 chain to secure that in, and then I start from the pattern from there. We will chain 4. The chain 3 counts as our double crochet and a chain 1. We will double crochet into the center, so into there. I'm just holding it like that because it's easier for me to do so. We will chain 1, double crochet into the center. So the first round's worked into the center. Chain 1, double crochet. And when I make most of my hats, I normally use 12 stitches. But because we've got this chain 1 in between, I found that when I did it with the 12 stitches, it was too bulky at the top. So we're going to use 10 in this one. So 10 double crochets. So chain 1, double crochet in the center. So we will have 10 lots of double crochets and chain 1. And that's including our first lot of chains, so our chain 3. So this one counts as our first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 1. Chain 1, double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet. Chain 1. And this colour is called cornmeal, and the other yellow I'll be using will be called lemon. They're very pretty colours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I've done my chain 1. If you're using a magic ring or you've worked over your tails, we can pull that yarn to close up the centre. Then we're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain, so not the 4th one, which is up here. We want the 3rd chain, so 1, 2 and 3. I like to grab that front part of the chain and then also the back section. We'll have a loop underneath our hook, and then slip stitch to join. So zoom in a little bit. So there we go, that's the first part of our hat. If you want yours to be really baggy, by all means, put in those 12 stitches. If you've got a lot of hair, if you've got dreadlocks, or just a lot of hair in general, the 12 stitches may work for you better than the 10. But for myself, I don't have that much hair compared to some people, so the 10's working great for me. We will be chaining up 4, and that's a chain 3 counts as our first stitch, and then the chain 1, yarning over. We will be working into every double crochet, not the chain 1. So going back to the same stitch and working a double crochet, chain 1, going into the next double crochet, chain 1, same one again, double crochet, chain 1. So every double crochet we do is separated by a chain 1 into the next stitch, chain 1, same stitch again, chain 1. So 2 double crochets and chain 1s into every double crochet around. And you will notice if you haven't done your chain 1 because your double crochets will be too close together. And if you're anything like me, you'll notice it on the next round, not as you do it. You've got to pull out all those rows, all those stitches. Chain 1, next one, chain 1, chain 1. So I'm going to work all the way around. I'll just leave the camera going. This would be beautiful made in cotton as well. I think that it would be beautiful for summer. I'm making mine in acrylic because I'm going into winter here in Australia, so cotton's not really much help for me when it's freezing cold. So there we go. You should be able to tell by looking at it if you've missed a chain 1 space, because instead of being able to separate them like that, they'll be all squashed together. I'm actually preferring using this smaller hook too with this yarn. It looks really good. But if you're making it for summer, I mean, if it's loose, it doesn't matter. It'll be nice and cool to wear. So joining into the top of the chain 3. Now if you want to change colour, I'm not going to change colour in this one. I did for my other one. I had so many ends to sew in, it was nuts. But if you want to change colour, you would cut your yarn off, do a chain 1, and then pull your hook and that yarn will come out. So we'll just pretend that I've done that. And then grabbing your new colour, excuse me while I grab some red here, this will do. It'll show better too. So you'll be joining into here. We can join anywhere around, but into the top of a double crochet or the chain 3. So you won't have that loop there because you would have finished it off and sewn in your end. You just put the yarn over the top of the hook, hold it at the back, pull through, do a chain 1 to secure, pull down at the back, and then start your pattern as normal, so chaining 4. Alrighty, so that's what you'll do if you're changing colours. I'm not going to change colours on this one because I don't want to. Alrighty, so we are starting, so we're chaining up 4. Chain 3 is our double crochet, and then the 4th one is our chain 1. Now we want to alternate between 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. So we've got 1 into the next stitch, into the double crochet, not the chains. We will work double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into that same stitch. Chain 1. So remember how I said we were alternating 1 and 2, so there's 1 there, there's 2 there. We need 1 into the next double crochet, chain 1. Oops. I don't think it's the yarn, I think it's this hook that's making this split. This is a cheap hook, so that's probably what's doing it. So we've done our 1, so our next one, we need 2. So chain 1. And I notice the hook part there is different to what I normally use. So obviously this hook might go to hook heaven when I finish this tutorial. So the next one we need to do is 1 by itself, so chain 1 into the next double crochet, work 1 double crochet and a chain 1 into the next stitch. You're working 2, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to work this all the way around until we get back to the beginning of the round that we've got here. I'll show you the difference. Like that's the difference. This is one size smaller than the one below. See how that's really big? Yeah, really not a fan. Anyway, continue on until we get back to here. Alright, so I know you think I'm perfect. No, I'm just kidding. Can you see where I've done my mistake? Well, I haven't done my chain 1. Because as I'm going around, I'm just doing a few stitches, then looking back to make sure I've done it right. It's right there, or should be right there. See how it's not separated? It's really close together at the top there. So let's pull this back and let's see. I don't think I've done one. So we'll pull that stitch out. So yeah, there's no chain 1 there. So haha. I'm glad I saw that before I got to the next row. So I'll just continue on because I'm basically at the end of the row now, so just about finished. So always do that. I mean, I've been crocheting for about 11, 12 years now, and as you can see, I'm still making mistakes. You're not going to be perfect all the time. You are going to be making mistakes. It's very easy to do. But the great thing about crochet, you just rip it out and start again. So when we come around, we will always end on an increase, and the increase is when we're working 2 stitches into the same stitch. So here is my last double crochet that I need to work into, and that is going to be the increase, which is double crochet with our chain 1 and a double crochet and we need to join into the third chain. So 1, 2, 3, grabbing that loop at the front and also at the back. There we go. Oh, and a little tip too, I don't know if you'll have this happen with you because you might be perfect. When I did my joining, let me see if I can show you on this other hat. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see how this hat's sideways, by the way? See that row there? Can you see how the gaps are bigger? Like here. See if I can put it the right way. Can you see that now? How that row here is bigger? Oh, it's upside down. I'm looking at stitches the wrong way. Sorry, guys. See now? I mean, that one's massive. This is where we joined. This is our chain 3 and that's our last stitch of the round. Make sure that stitch, if you're getting this happen, that chain stitch that's here, make sure it's really tight. I think that's what I have done wrong. So when I got further up, as I looked back and went, ew, what's happening there? It's here. I tried to make that stitch really tight and it seemed to have helped the problem. So if you're getting that last chain stitch that we do it tighter. I'm not really sure why that's happening. But I found by making that last chain stitch, I think because this is chaining here and not a double crochet, that last chain stitch before we join, I found if I did that tighter, it kind of helped with the loose hole. Alright, so we're looking good. We need to work a chain 4. We always start the row with a chain 4. And on this row we did the increase, which was the 2 into the same stitch, and then 1, and then an increase. Now we want to work increase, and then 1, and then 2, and then an increase. Okay, so I'll show you what that means. This is counted as 1. Into the next double crochet, we want to work a double crochet and a chain 1. So that's 1, 2. Then we want to work our increase stitch. So going into the next double crochet, working a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet all into the same space. There we go. So remember how I just said it was increase 1 and then increase. Well, this row is, well, there will be an increase on that last stitch. So it'll be 1, 2, increase, chain 1. So it's 1, chain 1. Next stitch, double crochet. Okay, see that? So it's got 1, 2, increase, 1, 2. So that means the next one is an increase. And that pattern will repeat all the way around. And if you've made a hat before, you will understand that a lot better. It's basically the same thing as when we work a normal double crochet hat, but we don't work the chain 1s in the normal hat. So you see that one? 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 2 in the same stitch. So I'll show you that again, and then we will repeat this all the way around the row until we get back to the beginning. There we go. So work that all the way around until we get back to here. So I have joined to the third chain. I don't know how to show, don't need to show you that because you just did it on the previous couple of rows. And now, depending on the size of the hat that you need, the blue and teal striped one, this one, dun, 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 I did this many increase rows. I used a 5.5 or an I millimeter hook, a 5.5 millimeter or I size hook. I used worsted weight yarn, medium number 4, and that came out a little bit too big on my head, but because I had the ties on it, it didn't matter because I tied it up. So it didn't matter that it was a little bit too big because you couldn't tell once I had the hat on. I'm using, like I said, a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook for this one. Still using the same thickness of yarn, but I think this one should fit my head a little bit better. If it comes out too big, it isn't a problem. You can work a row of single crochet when you're finished around the brim of the hat. The hat part will still be baggy, but you can make it still fit around the brim. If you're making this for a child, you probably won't need as many increase rounds as that if you're using the worsted weight yarn. If you're using 8-ply yarn or double knit for the UK guys, boys and girls, you may need another row of increase. So this is for the adult size. So to add another row of increase, I'm not going to be doing that, but I will show you how to start yourself off. If you've made a hat before, you probably already know what you're going to do, but if you haven't, I will show you. So you're chaining up 4, that counts as the first 3 chains as our stitch, and the chain 1. In the next 2 stitches, we will be working a double crochet and a chain 1. So going into the next stitch, the sun has just come through the window. Sorry about that. So they've got 1, 2, 3, work my chain 1, and then an increase into the next part. Sun always comes out when you don't need it to. Okay, so on that row you did 1, 2, and then an increase. This row you'll do 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. If you need to add another row after that, you'll add 4, and then work your increase. Alright, so I'm going to pull that back. Probably didn't need to pull all the stitches out, but I'm going to go back to the beginning. So chaining up 4, hang about for 2 seconds. I'm just going to pull my curtain across. So what colour combinations are you using? Better. You won't get the shadows now. What colour combinations are you using? Did you notice I haven't used any grey? You know why? Because I don't have any left. Or I'm sure there would have been grey in there somewhere. Chain 1. Did you hear that plane going over there? Not sure if the camera picked it up. Chain 1. So this row we aren't making any increases, we are just working double crochet, chain 1. And this is basically what we need to do. So this is the easy part. Hang on. Oops. This part of the pattern's the easy bit. Well, the easiest. It's pretty easy, the whole pattern. Chaining. Oh, did I do a chain 1? Yes. So double crochet, chain 1 in every space around. And you will continue doing this until we have the length of the hat. I will put Bev's Country Cottage link in the description box below the video, or the more info box below the video, and that will give you head sizes. You can use it as a guide if you're not sure. once we've done that, we are going to work on the brim. Now this brim is very easy. You could do a half double crochet or a single crochet for this brim. I'm going to choose the single crochet. We will chain 1 and single crochet into the same space as that chain 1. Now the chain 1's not counted when we do the border, it's just enough to get us up to our stitch. So single crochet. We will single crochet into the chain 1 space. When you're working your single crochet, don't pull really tight. You may even need to go up to a bigger hook. I'm using the same size as I used for my hat. Because the single crochet is a smaller stitch, it may actually make your hat really tight on the brim. If you need to make your hat a little bit tighter on the brim, hey, that's going to work for you. But if not, you may need to either work it a looser or change up a hook size, so make it a bigger one. So into the next stitch, we're going to work a single crochet into the chain 1 space, a single crochet, and we're going to repeat this all the way around, working into the stitch and into the chain 1 space. And you can work as many rounds as you like. You might just want to add 1 round just to neaten off the edge of your hat, or you could use a few more and make the brim a feature. So I will catch up to you when we are back to the beginning. I'm just coming up to the beginning, so I've worked into my double crochet. So I just need to finish off a couple of stitches and also into that space there. And then we want to join to beginning. So making a slip stitch into the first single crochet, not the chain, the single crochet. So you probably won't even be able to see the chain, it's like just there, it's so tiny. So going into the single crochet and working a slip stitch. You could finish off here if you would like to add more rows. This is how we would do it. We will chain 1 and single crochet in every stitch around. If you would like to join a new colour, you would cut your yarn and then pull your yarn like that, and that will eventually come out. Sew in your end. And this is how you attach a new colour. You'll attach it just here, but I'm going to do it over here so that that loop doesn't confuse you. To join a new colour, put your hook under one of the stitches, grab your yarn. This will be cut here. Of course, that will be the end of your yarn. Lay it over the top of the hook and pull through. Pick up the main strand of yarn and then work a chain. Grab the end of your yarn that's down at the back here and just pull it down, and that will secure that into there. And then you'll start your pattern. So you'll chain 1 and then single crochet into each stitch. So I'll show you if you don't know how to do that. So to chain 1, going into the same stitch, single crochet into the next one, single crochet. If you wanted to make this have like a ribbed effect, it'll have like a train track going across, you can work into the back loop only and work a single crochet. I'll do that for a few stitches and show you what it looks like. So back loop only, so leaving the front loop vacant. And what it does is creates this little raised section there. That can look quite cute on hats as well. See how there's no raised section in those 2 stitches? And then you've got that line going there if you go into the back loop only. So there's a few different ways that you can work the brim. So I'm going to use both loops. and you will single crochet around to here. And if you want to, you could put a stitch marker there if you're a beginner. That will remind you to stop here and join. Otherwise you may even just crochet right around and not realise. So I'll meet back up here. I'm just coming to the end and we will be slip stitching to join our row. I don't think that's a stitch there, is it? So joining, making a slip stitch, sorry about that, making a slip stitch, and then if you want to repeat and have more rows, you're more than welcome to. Of course, this is your creation. I'm just guiding you along, trying to find my scissors. I normally do have a pair of scissors sitting on my workbench, but they have run away. So just making a chain and then pulling through. So make sure you share your creations on our Facebook page. There are links below to my Facebook page. To sew the ends in, we're going to go to the back, going under the stitches. Just weaving it under the stitches like that. So what colour combinations have you used? Have you used a plain colour like me, or have you used a few different colours? The brim would look cute with a few different colours, wouldn't it? So after I've done that, I just go back a little bit as well, but I skip the first stitch that it's coming out of. So I'm going to skip that one there and go under the next one. And that way it gets trapped up here and it won't pull back through where you've sewn it in. So this hat would look cute with a flower added to it, or you could even weave ribbon or something through the holes that you've got there. Great hat for summer because you're not going to get too hot in it. I have used acrylic, but you could use cotton. That would make a really good hat for summer. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, as there will be plenty more videos coming up. And until next time, happy crochet.